Honestly, yo, this episode had me so worked up. I had to go and pull out KK's blood pressure monitor to figure out what the heck was going on this new episode of Love and Hip Hop.
Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Richie Scott back with another video. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this channel. If you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell button and get your CBD detox tea down in the link in the description down below. We got a whole lot to discuss today with this whole situation with Love and Hip Hop. Now, did you catch last night's episode or wait? Okay, because we got a lot to cover, from Ciara and her daughter getting into it, from Kirk's son getting arrested, okay, from Alexis Scott and this whole situation with her being sexually exploited. Listen, I did not know where this episode was gonna go, but honestly, it delivered, okay? It delivered on a whole lot of levels. Now, let's just go ahead and break this whole thing down 1 second, okay? So, first things first, let's talk about the intro. I gotta tell y'all the truth. I really love what they be doing with the intro on this particular franchise. Listen, I'm here for it. I'm all the way here for it. I am loving how they are addressing the matters head on while we're looking at the confessionals, looking like they be looking, you know, that we need to be staying inside and we are alone together and all of that stuff like that. I think it is super important because you still got people out here running around the streets and having, you know, parties on the streets and stuff like that. And it's just crazy right now what you can actually see happening on social media. But anyway, I'm glad that they're hitting the issues head on, and kudos to UVH1 and Love and Hip Hop for doing the right thing. Okay. Now, the first thing I noticed when I was watching this episode, I was like, is Rasheeda having a CoverGirl commercial right now? Because I was like, she was getting ready, and I thought I was about to look at a Jackie Aina makeup tutorial, okay? I was like, what is going on here? But it turns out that she was actually getting ready for her date with Mr. Kirk Frost, okay? They were celebrating this whole 20-year situation that they've been celebrating since the beginning of the season. Now, again, you've been married for 20 years. I would definitely say you need to be celebrating at this point because you have made it quite a long way and you're going through a whole lot of trials and tribulations, okay? Anyway, so we learned that Rasheeda is planning a ski trip for the girls to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee for an urban ski weekend, okay? I ain't never heard of this a day in my life, but kudos to you for trying something new. And quite frankly, I think that's what a lot of these cast trips gonna be looking like here in the future for a lot of these different shows. They're gonna be going around to different parts of the United States of the America instead of traveling off to these different countries like they be doing a lot of times. Now they're gonna keep their butts right here and start exploring the mainland. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I think is gonna be happening with a lot of these shows. Now, anyway, we get this Scooter and Ciara's. Listen, y'all be coming at me because I be calling him Scooter. The boy's name is Shooter. The boy's name is Shooter. I know what his name is. Anyway, she's there for Shooter's birthday. Ciara's not mad at him no more. Now, this is a scene that was pretty much a setup for what was about to occur, okay? So for me, honestly, I don't know if they filmed this scene in real time or if they filmed it afterwards because we needed to have some type of setup for what was actually going on with Ciara's daughter, Paris, at school. But anyway, we learned that Ciara and her daughter are having some issues because the daughter is having issues with some drama at school. She says she hates her school and the drama. She says that apparently some girl don't like her at school or something like that, and we'll get into that in a second. But first things first is Ciara seems to think that the kids seem to do better when her and Scooter are in the same place. And the son is like basically nope in the scene just like this, basically calling it like it is. This is some attempt at a storyline. I feel it in my spirit, but I'm gonna go ahead and roll with it because at the end of the day, I like me some Ciara. Okay, anyway, so while she's thinking that Shooter would love to be back with her, he's like, no. And I'm like, no. Because little do you know, girl, he got two women who are about to be fighting over him. And you know they're going to be fighting at some point during the season. Anyway, so Jock strolls into his salon and we learned that he ain't been there for over a year, okay? Sharonda, the partner, reveals that, things are running just fine without him because he ain't been there in so long. So he's meeting up with Alexis Scott because she has revealed on Instagram that she herself had been trafficked, okay? Now, he wants to do an open forum for the radio station, and she's worried about people thinking that she did this for clout. Now, I don't even know why she would think that. But my thing is this: if this is something that has truly happened to you, who cares at what people think about something that happened to you? My thing about it is, if this happened to you, you don't ever have to worry a day in your life about defending yourself, because if this is your story, you tell it and you be truthful and you be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? But that's that. So anyway, Rasheeda, Sierra, and Bam get together with Mimi, and she tells them that they're heading to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, okay? And then she reveals that she will be inviting Spice and Karlie. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, now, I feel like I done seen clips for this trip, and it looked like more people was on the trip than that, but we're gonna wait for that to actually pop up, because we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, we get to the trafficking event, and listen, this whole trafficking situation is really something serious. It is something to really be concerned about. As I was listening to this lady talk about how she was trafficked for 20 years and she would sleep with 20 men a day, I was thinking to myself, how in the world is this possible? Like, it just blew my mind listening to these women's stories, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, that is an awful life. But the fact that she is a survivor and has been able to work her way through this situation and actually talk about it to other people, that says a lot to her. So kudos for actually raising awareness, VH1. Kudos to you for actually addressing some issues head on. I really, really like this episode a lot, okay? I really like this situation a lot. Something that we find interesting, because when Alexis does show up, she tells us that she was held hostage. She was not kidnapped, but she was sold, and her phone was thrown away, and a stranger took her to a bus station, and that is how she ended up getting away. We also find out that Akbar knew her when this situation was occurring. So I guess I would love to speak to Alexis Scott to understand a little bit more about how this whole situation worked. I noticed that VH1 used the term sexually exploited versus trafficking. So I'm kind of wondering, is there a major difference between the two terms? And maybe they're trying to say that Alexis Scott was exploited and not trafficked. But I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. I would love more clarification from her regarding this situation. And I will definitely reach out to her to find out more about her story if she's willing to open up about it, you know, and talk to us about it as well. So anyway, we see some clips of Sierra's daughter, the headlines, and I knew this was coming. I knew that scene earlier was essentially a setup scene for us to really get an idea of what exactly was going on with Sierra's daughter. Now, anyway, when the commercial comes back, okay, we see Rasheeda, Mimi, and Karlie. They're talking about Sierra's daughter because we're going to actually see a news clip from the show, okay? So Karlie says, I can totally relate getting jumped by all these people. And so Mimi asks, how are you feeling about Sierra? Now, Sierra has basically talked to Karlie offline, okay? Karlie reached out and apologized to her or whatever, you know, for having to go through this with her daughter and all that stuff like that. But Karlie lets us know that she does not trust that good Sierra just yet, because she too was jumped by Sierra and her friends, okay? So anyway, let's move on to Miss what actually happened with this whole situation with Paris, okay? Paris is Sierra's daughter, the one that was jumped at the school by the schoolgirl and the mama, okay? Now, Paris says that the girl said that I was judging her. And so that is why this whole fight situation was going on, and why the girl then sneaked the mama up into the school to fight on Paris, okay? Because obviously the girl didn't feel like she could take her by herself, so she had to get her mama involved, sneak her into the school, and then for the mama to whoop up on her. No, Sierra tells us that Paris ended up calling her and said, Mama, they about to jump me, and the mama here is about to go down in the bathroom. So she panicking, so she puts Sierra on speakerphone, and Sierra's like, hey girl, what's going on? What's the problem? Because she's trying to talk this mama down off the ledge from beating her child while she's in school, and don't nobody know how the mama then got up into the school, which is so crazy to me. So anyway, the kids are screaming in the background, fight, 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 fight. They probably recording the thing. That's how we actually got the footage. Anyway, so I'm thinking to myself, this is crazy, but the gag is the lady living in the same building as Sierra. What? This lady live in the same building as you? At the end of the day, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, now, as much as you are willing to put a palm in the face of Karlie Red, you might want to go downstairs and put your palm in the face of that mama who done put her hands on your daughter. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately speaking, she's trying to stay out of trouble, so I understand that, okay? So she's gotten a restraining order against this lady. And then Sierra says Atlanta is a scary place to raise children. To be very honest with you, Sierra, I think everywhere is a scary place to raise children at this point in time. Just look at the world around us right now. I mean, it's clear to me that there is an issue going on within our school systems that need to be addressed. Especially because a parent is able to actually sneak into school, into the bathroom, and all these little girls can be up in the bathroom trying to watch this fight, and ain't nobody stopping it, and they just sitting there taping it on their phones. Like, something is definitely wrong with the school systems, and it's not just Atlanta, okay? But because I don't live there, I can't say if the problem is worse or not, so I just want to give you guys a disclaimer. Anyway, they tell Paris that she's got to start making some better decisions. She can't keep herself in this drama because Shooter does not want to lose another child. And I, for one, completely, wholeheartedly agree with him. But I do believe that it is very difficult for a lot of these kids today, especially in the school systems. And I don't really know what there is to do about it. But, you know, Mother Nature will take care of that, you know, when she throws around what's going on happening right now and the kids are out of school and they can't go to school. Now they got to be homeschooled, okay? Meanwhile, it's important to note that Sierra says something about them, or at least Paris, staying with Scooter. That's going to come up in just a second. So Bam is packing for the ski trip, and all I'm thinking is, she's talking about how sick she is. And I'm like, okay, she's pregnant, okay? Case closed. Case closed, the girl is pregnant. They be trying to lead us to certain conclusions and stuff like that, and build us up to stuff. And I'm like, just let us know she's pregnant. Come on now. Anyway, now we get to Rasheeda and Kirk. And their child had been arrested. So apparently, Kirk's son, I think it's one of his older sons, arrested. And he was pulled over for improper lane change. Now, they apparently got him for having some type of weed or something like that in the car, as well as a handgun, according to Rasheeda and Kirk. But according to the police report, it was a sawed-off shotgun, which is quite different from a handgun. So which is it? Because they are letting us know that the policeman changed the type of gun that was actually in the car, which is, in my mind, quite illegal to be doing. So for me, this is my thought, okay? Kirk believes that the officer took advantage of the situation and wrote the charges up in a way that he can't get out on bail now. So I'm thinking to myself, Kirk says something interesting. He says, it's so scary raising young black boys and the odds are always against you. Let's talk about it. So my thing is this. It is definitely hard being a black man in America. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that. At this point in time, they want you to run around with these homemade masks on, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. If I don't have some type of medical grade mask or something like that, I'm not gonna be running around with a bandana on my face, and I'm a black man. I can't even run around with a hood on. So you want me to put something over my face and they can tell that my skin is darker than white? I am not gonna do that. I don't feel safe doing that. So if I don't feel safe going out in public, you know, and telling me what doing what the CDC says to do, I definitely don't feel comfortable riding around in no car with no weed in it, okay? And that's just the reality of the life that we live right now, okay? So parents and kids, we got to tell our kids this. You have to be extra careful about what you do, where you go, and how you do it, and how you move. You are not like everybody else in this country that can run around, probably have a whole bunch of weed in the car, probably carry a bazooka in the trunk, but you cannot do that because the moment somebody sees that, the moment you do anything wrong, you will be sentenced to the highest degree. Why? Because you are black. This is real, okay? This is 100% real. You know, and so for me, I'm very disappointed in the fact that he was arrested because at the end of the day, for us, that is rolling around sloppy because he also has kids, right? So as an adult with kids, you have to get to this point where you realize, like, I gotta move a little different. You know what I'm saying? And I get that you might want to ride around with protection because I understand the times that we're living in, but I also understand that we have to move different. The moment there's a spotlight shown on you, it's a wrap. You know, and you're just another black man in America. That is all it's gonna be. You're gonna be another black man in America, which means to a lot of people, you're gonna be a threat. And that's how the world sometimes perceives us. And that's just it. And we have got to teach our kids, hey, listen, you're gonna have to be extra careful when you move about in these streets, because people will be coming for you because you will always look like a threat, okay? Bottom line, that's kind of what we have to start teaching our kids if we want to keep them safe. That's just my opinion, you know, and I hate to sound like that, but that's the truth of the situation. I know it and y'all know it too. Let's move on. Anyway, this ski trip, Sierra explains that her daughter wanted some time to heal, so she decided to go on the trip anyway. Now, Karlie is still mad, but she's hopeful that things can sort of get back to, you know, on the mend or whatever. And Rasheeda, we learned, is not going on the trip because now she needs to go contend with this mess that Kirk's son has gotten into. So she's rightfully not going. Now, I understand her not going, even though she did plan the trip production-wise. But I don't blame her for not going because family first. And that's just what it is. Now, Sierra gets emotional because she says that her daughter is worried that the mom is somewhere lurking in the shadows out to get her. Now, Karlie empathizes, but she also judges the fact that Sierra is on the trip with her daughter going through everything that she says she was going through. And she says that she herself would not go on the trip or she would be bringing her daughter with her. Now, let's talk about that. Okay, I wish that Karlie wouldn't have judged her in this situation, because ultimately we don't know at this point if, you know, Sierra has actually taken her daughter out of that apartment building and moved her in with Scooter like was previously mentioned in the episode. So for me, it's like, come on, Karlie, you ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it was a little bit like, come on now, y'all not even in a good spot for you to be judging her at this point when she's just going through something like this. You can't say how you're going to react in a specific situation. Now, I kind of agree to a certain degree that I don't know if I would feel comfortable going on the trip given that it just happened. But if she felt like her daughter was in good hands, then, you know, she still got to work. At the end of the day, she still has to work. And what better way to put food on the table and to protect her daughter than to actually be working? That's just my thought. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Again, and she could have maybe brought her daughter. I don't know. But given the ratchetry that goes on these trips, I don't know that would have been the safest place for her daughter to be. Anyway, Bam is sick. She's pregnant, but she wants them all to take pregnancy tests with her. At this point in time, I'm sure in real time, she actually knew she was pregnant, but I'm assuming that production feels like it would be more fun to make us all go through this whole rigmarole of having them all take pregnancy tests. Whatever. So we find out that Shekinah has texted Sierra and that Shekinah is now driving up on her own and is going to go on the trip. And we also find out that Spice isn't feeling Shekinah right now for reasons that we don't know why at all, okay? And even when I saw the preview clip for when they do have that confrontation, because apparently Spice has written Shekinah off as being fake, it didn't even look like they was having a real argument. So to me, this just felt like, you know, a made up storyline, but I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comment section below. Now we get to Scrap and Cheyenne moving Scrap into a bigger place. But he wants her and KK to stop their beef because apparently Cheyenne is on KK's phone plan, okay, and did not pay her portion of the bill. And all I could think to myself was, what in the friends and family plan is going on here? First of all, Cheyenne is not Scrap's real sister, okay? They just play brother and sister, right? So why is she on his mama's phone plan? Okay, for me, I feel like that's reserved for the actual family. And why can't this girl pay her bills? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is really going on with you, Cheyenne? That's really what I want to know. What is going on? Did they just pluck this girl up off the streets and then just say, let's bring her in and add her to the family? I just want to know that. I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I'm just kind of trying to figure out, like, well, girl, why couldn't you pay this bill and get this whole situation out of your hair with KK? Because you know KK got some information hanging up over your head and she is gonna use it, okay? She is gonna use it. So when KK does show up with her blood pressure monitor, because she is determined that she is gonna be confronting Cheyenne and she don't want her blood pressure to go up, but it's already 180 over like 124 or something like that. And all I'm thinking is, KK, you are in danger, girl. You are in danger. You need to be at home in the bed or something like that. So anyway, fast forward, they get into the whole argument, go back and forth, and we learn that there was a phone conversation or a text message exchange in which the two of them were basically rude to each other and going off on each other, and KK felt like Cheyenne had called her out her name. Cheyenne said, I ain't do that, and apparently KK can't prove it. But Cheyenne ends up apologizing. But KK not hearing it because she wants Cheyenne to admit that she called her out her name, which Cheyenne is not doing. So KK says, well, I'm gonna be the small person in this situation and not the bigger one, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what's going on with you and Shooter. In front of Scrap, who does not know that his business partner Shooter is having relations with Cheyenne, but also having relations with some other girl named Kiyomi, who KK is really about to unleash all of this information into the open so that Cheyenne will be humiliated and disgusted, okay? So that's gonna happen next week. So they left us with that little cliffhanger, but I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know what happens, you know, and obviously at some point in time, there's gonna be some little fight that goes on with Kiyomi and Cheyenne. I'm just waiting for that to pop off. Probably won't have to wait long. It'll probably be next episode, okay? So anyway, make sure, let me know what you guys thought about this particular episode. I really liked it. I thought it was very, very interesting. I mean, it had a little twists and turns, some predictable things that kind of went on with it, but ultimately I enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down below, hit that notification button, and I will see you in the next video.